This video is sort of an homage to PropStrike Studios, which is a small developer of mostly sceneries for X-Plane. They're pretty new, so they only have a handful of sceneries right now. But they also have this amazing free bush mod for the default 172, the one that comes with X-Plane. And I'm trying it in this new scenery that I just purchased. Actually, it's not that new, but a newly purchased scenery for Quatam River, which is also produced by PropStrike Studios. And it is really gorgeous. Look at that old, I think, a Stinson or a Lescombe. And here's the runway. I did find later on that the preferred takeoff direction is not the one I'm taking here. It's actually coming from the other way. And look at this amazing old, I assume, abandoned house. Doesn't look like a place I'd want to see what's inside. Now, this is a real airstrip, but it's not really registered anywhere. You won't find it in the X-Plane database. So, you can't point your GPS here, and there's no real VORs anywhere in the area. There are a couple NDBs, so if you're good at using your ADF, you might be able to get here. But there are a couple of GPS waypoints that aren't too far from here, so you can go there and fly visually here. In this case, I'm doing the easy thing of just starting off from here. And you can see these supplies. This is a logging airstrip. I don't know if it is still used for that. If you look at Google Maps, you can see that it is still used for something. There are structures in the that are shown here that apparently are there in real life. This is after a 180-degree turn, so I'm now going in the direction that I was supposed to take off with. And this is heading out to the river. The Quatam River airstrip is in a little valley that opens into the river. And so what I'm doing now is trying to find the other airstrip. PropStrike actually supplies two airstrips in the scenery. Quatam River being the main one, but there's also another one that I'm attempting to find here, and it's on the adjacent river. So I'm experimenting a little here to see if there's a way to get to the adjacent river without going to the mouth of Quatam River. And here I found sort of a low pass in the mountains at the north end of Quatam River that I can use to cut over to the adjacent river. Now, I think, at this point, that the other airstrip is in that valley that's directly across. So I'm headed over there now. Now, I looked in that valley and flew up and down it a bit, and never saw any airstrip. So I flew back out to the main river, and then I decided to look up in the X-Plane map that you get with the M key, and found that it was marked there as Papa Sierra 02. And it was in that valley, right at the mouth of the valley, that I had flown through and never noticed anything. So here I'm flying back, and there it is. This little gash in one of the hills. That's the other airstrip. And at this stage, I'm thinking, there is no way you could land there. That is way too tiny, even for this little Cessna. So I did this low pass here to investigate, and at this stage, I'm still thinking, no way, you cannot land here. But I decided to do a little 180 here and attempt a landing. This is a final approach into this airstrip, and it's called the Moh Airstrip. at this stage, I'm still thinking I'm going to clip my wings on the trees here, but as I got closer, I realized there's actually plenty of room. It's a little misleading to someone like me who hasn't done many bush operations in a flight sim. And it's actually amazing, and there's even stuff here that I wanted to investigate after I stopped. And yeah, it's actually pretty wide. It just didn't look like it from even doing the low pass over the airstrip. So let's go back and look at what stuff is here. So we've got these piles of lumber, this tattered old windsock, which I'm surrounded by trees like this. I'm not sure how it's supposed to show anything. And this really cool rusty logging truck. So PropStrike did some amazing work here. And now it's time to head back to Quatam River Airstrip. I was getting a little bit worried about how long it was taking to build up speed here, but this sort of downslope helped out a lot. Finding Quatam River Airstrip again turned out to be a lot simpler than I expected. It's really in the only major valley on the east side of the river. And so here's my final approach. And this is in the correct direction, or preferred direction for landing. Now, PropStrike also supplies the mesh for this scenery, so all the detailed topographic data also comes from them. It's a higher resolution than X-Plane provides by default. As I continued my approach, I noticed there seemed to be something in the runway, and it looked like there was plenty of runway after it, so I decided to fly over whatever it is and just land after it. Alright, so now let's take a look at what was blocking the runway. And here it is. A tree fell across the runway. But hey, there's a bunch of loggers with chainsaws here. They should be able to clean that up in just a few minutes. And in fact, I came back to this spot a few minutes later, and the tree was gone. The manual says that you can find other things, like sometimes you'll find pallets of lumber across the runway or other things. So that's a really unique capability in the scenery. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Quatam River scenery from PropStrike Studios and the bush plane mod for the default Cessna. This is not sponsored content. I bought Quatam River, and the bush mod is free. And so this is just my appreciation for a very talented X-Plane developer.